Jerry production.
Yeah, Gucci's verse on that song is so crazy.
It is good.
Just because he's like, I think, so the first thing you think he's talking about is like, he signed, he has Pooh Shiesty on his 1017 label, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like caught up right now because he got caught doing like a, like armed robbery on someone on security camera.
Yikes.
And he like took the case to trial. And they had like all the proof. He like rapped about all the shit in his music. So he's like, guys, don't fucking rap about the shit you're doing. But then also he's like, DA dropped my case, didn't have evidence to prove it. And he's like, I think my house is haunted by who the ghost of Pookie. And that's the dude he got a murder trial for, but they dropped it.
Oh shit.
And that was Jeezy's boy.
So you think he's gonna get got? He just admitted to murder.
No, he already got dropped of those charges.
I'm talking about getting got.
It's
from
not
that
double
crew.
jeopardy. Oh, well, they already knew. That's why Gucci and Jeezy were always kind of up against each other. That's why they had like the Gucci Man versus Jeezy versus last year.
Who won that?
That one was so hyped. I think Gucci Man won it just because like the first song he did was his diss track that he made to Jeezy after he killed his friend. And he performed it right in front of Jeezy. So like millions of people watching on live stream. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Gucci Man's fucking the man.
It is crazy that, I mean, it's a good law that you can't be tried for the same crime over and over again. Mm-hmm. But it is crazy because then you have people like doing like the OJ thing.
Yeah.
Where like they're just like, maybe I did do it. You can't.
Yeah, you can't take me to court again.
Yeah, you can't do that again.
Yeah, you can't do that again. So maybe I did do it now.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I seem to recall.
Yeah, I'm kind of remembering a few things now. What'd you say her name was? Nicole Brown Simpson. Wait, you mean my wife?
Her?
No.
Oh, that was
talking about someone. I thought it was someone
Anna
else.
Nicole Smith. No, you're talking about Nicole Brown. Oh, yeah, I totally killed her.
And the waiter.
Y'all should have charged me for that. What?
I thought this is a whole misunderstanding, but I guess you can't try me again.
Oh, jeez. Golly. Okay. Whoops. Live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Selesky.
Merrick Glazer.
And if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably wondering, I know, I got to bring out the elephant in the room. You're probably wondering, why do they sound so good right now?
It sounds so good.
And the reason is because maybe you haven't thought that, but let me give you a little taste of what we used to sound like here.
All right, check.
This is what we sound like before.
Yeah.
Hear this?
Uh-huh.
Stupid. Who would listen to this podcast?
Heavy in like the low end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
now.
This is what we sound like now.
Wow.
Wow.
A world of difference.
A world of difference.
Honestly, it is.
It is. It's humongous.
We sound a lot better.
Yep. So planning on triplifying our views, getting up to 75 views per video with this amazing sound. Took me, of course, I'm always afraid to update anything in the studio because it takes me a minimum of 2 full days to get anything to work in here.
Yeah.
But it's always worth it. And now I'm gonna have to rewire, get everything cleaned up. This whole bundle of cords under this table is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
I wonder if there's a way. I bet we can put a little rack under the table that we can just put the cords on.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
A little rack. Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, doing tech work. You just came from doing some tech work at your parents', I believe.
Yeah, my parents got a new TV in their living room.
That's a great way to feel like a tech genius is helping your parents with something.
Yeah, because it's always the simplest shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, yeah. I'm not going to call you and tell you how to log into my Netflix and all my other accounts. I'll just do it real quick.
You feel like fucking Geek Squad because you don't know how much other people don't know. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest thing. Garrett Harvest, who does the Flopside podcast here, Baltimore comedian, he just recently bought himself a mixer and 2 speakers. And he texted me a picture the night when we all got together to watch Scott's movie, which we can, of course, discuss as well.
Of course.
And he texted me the picture, and, I don't often get high. But sometimes I do. And sometimes when you're watching your friend's movie on a festival and your other friend has a weird square vape pen You think, why don't I get high for this? So I did. And then I saw that Garrett had texted me just a picture of his mixer saying, this is what I got. And I didn't know how to respond to that because I don't want to, like I said, you don't know what you don't know. So like part of me was thinking like maybe he's asking for like advice on how to set things up. And the other part of me was like, maybe he's just telling you that he got this.
Yeah.
But in my high mind, I was like, he's definitely wants your advice. And it turns out I was correct. But I was like, so I like typed out like a little paragraph while we were watching the movie. And I was like, all right, dope. So you're going to plug your microphone into channel 1. You're going to run the other 2 into your speakers out of the main outs, blah, blah, blah. You're going to press this button, roll off the lows, blah, blah, blah. Like this whole thing. And I was like, well, you probably already knew that.
Like at the end of like 9 paragraphs.
Yeah. And then I never heard back from him. And then he was like, he
was
came
still reading it.
I think he's still reading it. He's on chapter 3. He's got like a bookmark on the text. And then he came in here a couple days ago to record his podcast, and he was like, yeah, dude, I have no idea what you were talking about. And I was like, really? Oh, so I should have gone further into detail. It's crazy because like to someone who like, you know, I don't like it's like if you were trying to explain something about video to somebody and it's like you use these words that like encapsulate the whole thing, like exposure. And to you, you're like, yeah, just roll up the exposure or whatever the fuck you're talking about. And to people who don't know what you're talking about, they're like, I don't know what you're saying, dude. But to you, it's so simple. And so it really is difficult to try to explain something to somebody who literally knows nothing about that subject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. And I find myself like, especially on like film sets or like film shoots, like whenever I need someone to help me do something, I always try to, because like I knew when I started, like especially not even coming from like film school or anything, I didn't know shit. And I always felt weird when people would use like, you know, like, oh, get me some C-47s and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, go wrap up the stinger over there. It's like, okay, but can you tell me what it means for, like, so get the power cord over there.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, perfect. Now I know.
That was how I felt when I was doing shoots with you guys. Because film has their own, like, vernacular. You know? Like, you guys call shit different shit. To me, for no reason. I don't understand why tape is called gaff.
I don't like it either. So yeah, whenever I try to like, you know, get help or like have someone do a task, I definitely always know now to be like, all right, let's figure out your base knowledge. Like, let's do this. Okay, cool, perfect. I can explain it like this. Or okay, you don't know that? All right, let me tell you this then.
It is weird because it is a process of normalization too. Because like, I personally like, you know, when you're lining up like band jobs and you're talking to people and like explaining like, okay, like, so here's how the event's going to work. And then like, they're like, do you think we should do a band or a duo and stuff like that? And you don't even like, a lot of times when you're setting up people's weddings and shit like that, it's like, you don't know how much they don't know. So you're like trying to explain like, okay, so if you have a band like with a drummer, it's like going to be loud. It's going to be like, that's a type of thing where you want like, the focus is on the band. You want people dancing. Like think about like a wedding reception. If you want somebody to play like more background music while people walk around like and mingle and shit like that, more like a cocktail hour, you want this. And like I find myself like typing these things out and I always feel like I'm running the risk of being like, are you being like condescending right now? Like are you over explaining? But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, if I was hitting up a lawyer, like when I was talking to Fraser's sister about trademarking live from the studio for no reason. I remember her saying stuff to me and like in a paragraph and like she was using these words and these like concepts that I just had no idea. I was like, all I want to know is like, can I trademark live from the studio? Which I came to find out, no, you can't because that is the most generic possible name. It's like trademarking the word what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a good and a bad thing because that means that if we can't trademark it, no one can.
Exactly.
And that's why we picked this name.
And also just because, like, I don't know, it just sounded right. You know
did.
what I mean? It sounded right. And then also, like, if you type in, like, live from the studio after anything, sometimes our shit pops up.
Sometimes it does.
Like, if you're just trying to find, like, you know, if you're looking for the fucking NPR, like, you know, Tiny Desk concerts or something, you're like, all right, I want to look at Wiz Khalifa live from the studio. And it's like, oh, but what is this?
And then an episode
It's
of
two
Wiz
random
Khalifa
white guys
on
talking
our
about
show.
Kush and OJ.
Yeah, dudes, I'm not one to dwell on how awesome stuff that I have to do with is, but I will say that I am often jealous of how great the podcast name is, and like I wish I felt the same way about the band name. You know what I mean? Like I like the name Sophomore,
Yeah.
but I still feel like when I say it to people, they're like, "Yo, what's the name of the band?" I'm like, "Sophomore." They're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But when they're like, "Yo, what's the name of the podcast?" I'm like, live from the studio. They're like, "Oh, I think I heard of that."
Yeah.
It's like, no, you haven't,
No,
but
you
you
haven't.
think you did because it's that dope.
But then sometimes people be like, oh, yeah, the fucking when you guys talking about this, I'll be like, oh, wait, yeah. Wait, we did talk about it. Wait, you listened? Oh, no.
They're like, "Yeah, I was trying to Google Wiz Khalifa live from the studio, and your fucking clip talking about measuring Drake's dick popped up, and
Yeah.
then next thing I knew, as I was trying to retype my search, and I caught 35 seconds of you guys talking about it, and not bad."
Auto played the fish meter, which I got a text about that. Our bro Henry
Oh
hit me
yeah,
up and was like, you got to change income to inches. And then you guys would be beating Pete, and I'm like, no, it would be the same thing.
yeah, we would lose. I think
We'd lose more
I think it's sad to say, but if
because we
like,
were a 2 in income, we'd be like if
we were
you know,
average in income, yeah.
we were average income, and to be able to like have us and Pete on the same scale, average wouldn't be 2 for inches.
Yeah.
We'd both be 1,
Yeah, we both be average, and
and that would be like whatever, like 1 or like what was it, like 3.5 to 7 inches is average.
Yeah,
So that would be 1. And then 7 to 12 would be 2. And then 12 plus would be 3. Or maybe 12 plus is a bonus point. I
12
forget how we did
plus-
income.
Well,
I think it was out of 3.
income was at a 2.
Okay, income
Income was
two.
at a 2 because we don't want to insinuate that women are that shallow about
Yeah.
income, But they and I think they probably I would argue back with Henry because Henry also texted me that same week criticizing the fat system. And he said that, dude, you fucked up the whole thing. You're supposed to rate it out of 10 first and then convert them to the points. So if you're rating a girl's face out of 4 points, you're supposed to go, oh, she's got like an 8 out of 10 face, and then you
Yeah.
convert that to 4 points, which would be like a 3.2. And I was like, yeah, dude, I know that, but also that's training wheels, dude, because I've been doing the fat system for literally 12 years now.
Yeah, you can do that in your head.
I can spot a 3.3 from a mile away. I don't need to do conversion.
Yeah.
You know? It's like long division at a certain point. Like I
Yeah.
got to sit there and like do the fucking shit.
Well, it's your times tables. You kind of naturally know, okay, 2 times 2 is 4.
I know exactly that Julia Fox's face is a 3.3.
Exactly.
Undisputable. The fish scale, which I'm surprised we didn't think of this at the time.
I know.
I retroactively changed the name of the episode 3 days after I released it to the fish scale because I was like, why didn't we think of fish
The
scale?
fish scale is so good.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? But I mean, the fact that we even came up with such an intricate system like that on the spot is, that's live from the studio.
That's live
baby.
from the
That's
studio.
live from the studio, dude. Making up measurements nobody
Fuck
cares
it, we
about.
do it live.
Fuck it.
Fuck it, no one's listening anyway.
Yeah, let's go with some more shit. I'd like to thank you and everyone in my inner circle for celebrating the festivities of today, February 5th, 2022. As I just learned this morning, is the 9-year anniversary of my first blowjob.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes. And I got to tell you, dude, I woke up a little sad this morning for no reason. I had like a weird dream, like some stuff was going on in my head when I woke up. And I went on Facebook Memories and I saw that 9 years ago, Mihai wrote on my wall saying, what was it?
Here, I'll pull it up.
You're going to prove me right tonight, Jimmy. I believe in you. I believe that was it.
Let's see. You will prove me right. I believe in you, Jimmy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, that is in regards to
February 5th, 2013.
2013, baby. I was 20 years old, going on 21. And as you know, I needed to get a blowjob before I turned 21. And I thought that I still, looking back, I still think that's necessary because it's not like you're telling somebody they need to lose their virginity before 21 because that's more pressure. You know what I mean? Like getting a blowjob is harmless, you know? And it's like I put a certain amount of social pressure on myself with the help of my extremely critical friends to get a blowjob before I was 21. And that night marked the day where the BBBJ occurred, the buzzer beater blowjob, which, you know, my birthday is August 20th. So I actually got it in 6 months before I turned 21.
Very healthy.
But I call it the buzzer beater because you got to work.
Because it was still 20 years and 6 months without one.
It's like, that's a buzzer beater.
A buzzer beater is 6 months at that point.
Yeah, that's unreal. Like, if I just had 1 year to accomplish something and I did it in 6 months, that's okay. You did it by halftime.
Yeah, that's not a buzzer
21
beater.
years? That's like, dude, that was the 2-minute warning, bro. Like, damn, you put in some work. And that was also the first time in my life where I led a chick on accidentally because I was so nervous with all the pressure that was amassed around me getting this buzzer beater blowjob. I saw the clock ticking.
Yeah.
I knew that you guys
You knew you only had 6 months left.
I knew that you guys were all separately hanging out in somebody else's place, wondering what was happening.
Exactly.
Because I had just come from that place. And when she first went to go do it, I could not get hard at all. I was soft as a fucking cotton pillow, dude. Couldn't do it. And I remember in my head being like, "Oh my god, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This girl is trying to blow me. I'm finally about to do this, and I can't get hard." And so to cover up the fact that I was so nervous about getting my first ever blowjob at 20 and a half years old, I instead said, "I think it's because I like you too much."
Ooh.
To which she took seriously. And that wound up being a 3 to 4 month saga of her eventually hating me.
Which is okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
because,
okay.
you know, everyone's young, dumb, full of cum, you know?
Yep. And so I gave up the first round, and then I got in my senses again. We watched some TV and went back at it, and then boom, it was over. And then I immediately texted you guys.
Yeah.
I don't even think I put my pants on yet. But yeah, 9 years ago, dude, Feb 5th.
Yeah.
What a day in Slabs history, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Yeah, so that's fun. February is a weird month. There's a lot of stuff happening. January, mainly. The main thing about February is it signifies that January is over. And I don't think I realized how much January sucks until this January.
Yeah, January is the Mondays of months.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Did you notice it this year more so than other years?
I think it just sucked more this year because it was way colder than it's been normally.
Yes.
It's been so fucking cold this January. It sucks.
And it was weird because like the second it became February, it got like bearable outside again. And I don't even know if it's mental because right now it's 31 degrees outside, which is cold, but it doesn't feel cold.
But it's not like the other night, it was like, all right, it's going to be 7 degrees tonight. Real feel -8. And I don't remember that ever happening.
Dude, January is the worst. I tweeted that and somebody replied and said, "No way, February." And I was like, no.
Damn, dude, were you racist?
Yeah, exactly.
Black
That
History Month,
is what I
dumbass.
said. I said, first of all, that's racist. Second of all, not at all. Think about January. How do you rate a month? Okay, so I feel like criteria would be important holidays, the season, obviously, of which is going on. Those are the main things. So
January is just New Year's Day.
which is the worst.
It's literally a holiday to be hungover.
It's
on.
the Sunday of holidays. It's the end of a fun December, which is all holidays.
chock full of fucking Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve,
And then
the lost week.
nobody's working, nobody's doing anything, and then you wake up on January 1st, hungover from New Year's Eve, and you're like,
Damn, back to the fucking grind.
yeah. It is the worst day, and that's its only holiday. January's only holiday is the worst holiday.
It's the worst holiday.
And it's a 31-day month, so it's not like it's
Let's talk about February though.
February.
Right off the bat, obviously the whole month, Black History Month.
Yes.
February, usually, very early February, Lunar New Year.
Boom. Gotta have
some
that.
cool shit with that. Get some specials at your favorite Chinese restaurants. Got fucking MLK Day, President's Day, a lot of sales going on.
Is President's Day February?
Yeah, I think so. It's like February 16th or some shit.
Oh, let me check my calendar. It's 21st this year.
21st this year.
Third Monday in February.
Valentine's Day, of course, the big one.
Yeah. And Valentine's Day, see, this is the thing. You can always tell. Valentine's Day is an extremely polarizing holiday for people because if you are a romantic type and you're in a relationship, mainly if you're a girl in a relationship, which let's say 50% of the population are girls. I think that's a fair estimate. And let's say 50% of them are in a relationship. Is that fair?
Sure, why not?
Let's just say 25% of the population is a girl in a relationship. They love Valentine's Day.
They love it.
Girls not in relationships absolutely hate Valentine's Day.
Or they still celebrate it just with their friends.
Yeah, but there's always a little bit of like contempt there, I feel like. When
probably.
There's like single girls, I feel like I'm just generalizing here, but I do feel like being like there's like when a girl doesn't get like she'll buy herself flowers for Valentine's Day or something. There's a little bit of like a fuck you to society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's a little bit of like an ironic celebration. Like fuck it, we'll just get together and celebrate Valentine's Day together because like who needs men? Like that time of thing. It's like one of those things. I would say the demographic of people that enjoy Valentine's Day the second most, besides girls in a relationship, are guys not in a relationship.
Yeah, because they don't have to do shit.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
You can, and if you work in a restaurant, you make tons of money. You're serving tables. You're sitting there. It's like everybody's kind of like you're watching.
The guy doesn't tip good. He's not getting head later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like guys that aren't in a relationship on Valentine's Day are like fucking living, baby. It's a holiday that has nothing to do with me, but I like those holidays. You know.
It's because everyone else is usually in a good mood. And
Exactly.
Like, all right, cool.
So now I'm in a good mood. As a single guy, I feed off of everyone else's vibe around me because I have nothing of my own.
You're
know?
not single.
Well, I'm not single. Which is why I posture my third and most relevant demographic, which is guys in a relationship, coming in at third place for the enjoyment of Valentine's Day. And I would venture to say that, Valentine's Day for a guy is more of a, and I don't mean this in a bad way.
It's an easier birthday.
Yes, it's an easier birthday, but it's also kind of a little bit of an assignment. And I don't mean this like it's a chore, but it is an assignment. A chore insinuates that it's something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
An assignment is something that you have to do that you may or may not want to do. But it is something that you still have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, on Valentine's Day, there is an expectation, which unfortunately I did not become aware of until after I was broken up with my ex-girlfriend, that you have to do stuff on Valentine's. You have to do something.
I mean, but it's like...
It doesn't have to be crazy.
It doesn't have to be crazy. Like, what me and Liz have done the last couple of years is just like, all right, let's just make a really nice dinner at home just because we don't feel like going out.
Yes.
I mean, other years we'd go to restaurants or something. Like we'd go to like our favorite restaurant in DC, or like we went to the restaurant at the Visionary Art Museum one time before it closed. Just like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's just like, all right, let's do something where there's either like, all right, this makes sense because of like we've been here before and like we like it, or like let's try something new that we haven't done before that looks cool.
Yes. But it requires forward planning sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not that much.
Like, for me, I would say that, like, you don't necessarily have to give them a gift, but the hardest thing in my life has always been planning ahead, you know? And it's not because I can't. It's more so because I've always been the type of person that's like, like, what am I doing today? Oh, maybe I'll hit up this person. Maybe I'll go do this. Maybe I'll go to the studio for a bit. And it's like, I don't ever really put that much stock in being like, all right, next Thursday, I'm going to do this exact thing. Unless it's like kind of like comes to me. Like there's a big group chat. They're like, yo, we're doing this. I'm like, okay. So with Valentine's Day, it's like, even if you're planning just to do something lighthearted, like a dinner, you still want to make sure that you've canceled all your other plans. You have other obligations, maybe stuff like that. I'm talking like very minor shit. Which
but for the most part, like, I don't know. For me, if like I know it's a holiday, I'm not really planning shit on that. Yeah. I'm kind of planning to do like, okay, yeah, I'm probably going to do dinner or whatever. Like,
well, that's where I think this is important to subsect this demographic, because I think we are representatives of these two sides here.
Okay.
So men in relationships, you have good boyfriends
and bad boyfriends.
And so good boyfriends.
What did you do? What are you planning to do on Valentine's Day already?
Oh, I actually this year I made a reservation to a restaurant.
There you go. Okay.
And it was
you're
hard.
A good boyfriend? Come on.
It was hard.
No, it's not. Just go on fucking open table.
Dude, I tried calling up this place. And
why are you calling places?
Because I'm old fashioned, baby. I'm a bad boyfriend, dude. Bad boyfriends call places, dude. We don't have the open table
don't
app.
Use the internet.
We don't have open table because that would mean that in the past we've planned shit for people, which we have not done. I haven't done. So I just have to go the old fashioned way. Call them up and be like, hey, this is the rest. I can't say it because it's a surprise.
And also our fans will fucking dox us.
They'll dox us.
They'll call in a bomb threat to the restaurant during Jimmy's Valentine's Day dinner.
I like how right now I'm censoring what I'm saying in case my girlfriend listens, even though this entire segment is preceded by me celebrating the anniversary of my first blowjob. So
yeah, she already turned it off. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So I make this reservation, and the guy picks up, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, yeah, I want to make a reservation for Monday, February 14th, thinking I'm going to trick him because I'm worried that he's going to be like, oh, that's Valentine's Day. We don't have any open reservations.
Yeah.
But I figured I'm not going to tell him it's Valentine's. I'm just going to tell him Monday, February 14th. He's going to be sitting there and be like, oh, it's a fucking Monday, dude. You're in there, dog.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to pull up the thing and be like, oh,
he's not just going to hear February 14th and automatically be like, oh, yeah, that's Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So I say February 14th. And then we get to the process.
And then he's like, okay, Valentine's Day?
I'm like, what?
Wait.
Really?
Huh?
Oh, that's Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, wow, you sure? All right, yeah, I guess we could. Okay, fine. I guess we can do that. And immediately he asked me what time, and then the phone hangs up. Just hangs up.
Oh, fuck.
Then I call back 3 more times.
Oh, no.
And I go straight to voicemail. And I'm thinking,
oh, no.
Do these guys think I'm a bad boyfriend right now, dude? They're not picking up the phone now.
Yeah.
So then finally I call back again, get disconnected again. And on the 5th attempt at calling, I finally managed to get all my words in there and get the reservation locked in.
Okay,
Mind you,
nice.
I did this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's a month ahead of Valentine's Day.
Okay, so hell
and
yeah.
I locked it in, you
there
know?
You go.
But that's also...
But what was the fucking ruckus?
I don't know.
Why they kept...
They probably don't know how to handle people calling them up. Maybe they're so used to people making reservations on open table, but like I always am a proponent of calling places still. And half of it's being old fashioned, half of it is having a phone that will lose 20% battery anytime I open up an app. But the other 13% of it is that you do have a little bit more leeway when you call.
Yeah.
Because an app, if something is even iffy,
it is restricted.
Black out the time slot that you want. And like, whereas if you talk to someone on the phone, they could be like, well, we're showing that 6 isn't available, but honestly, we'll probably get this table seated at 5:45, so I could get you in at 6. That's not happening on an app. That's just going to be an unclickable button on the app, and like you just get a better. I don't know. It just even when you call up a place to order food, it's like
you get more leeway.
Mm-hmm. And it's quicker. It's quicker sometimes.
Yeah, it is quicker sometimes.
Ordering, you call up a pizza place, hey, can I get this with this and this on it? It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. For like, if you're ordering a sub, it's easier to just call it in than doing an app because they're not going to give you all the options. You're going to have to fucking write it all out. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you on that. But for something like, I don't know, just get fucking open table, dude. Plug your phone in and get open table.
Plug the phone in. Oh, shit. Here's my lighter. But this whole tangent, of course, was brought on about the conversation about February. February is a month that is kind because
Well, it's so short and it's chock full of so many holidays. It's kind of crazy.
the only thing that sucks about February is that you kind of have to make more money during it per day to make your bills.
To offset, yeah.
It's kind of, I was thinking about this the other day.
It's only 3 days, though, really.
But that's still, okay, a month is 30 days. So you, on
So
average.
it's only 2 days.
Well, okay, let's make this easy math. We're gonna fudge some numbers. We're gonna flip some stuff around.
Yeah.
Make it more palatable for the listeners here. Let's say on average a month is 30 days, which is true.
Yeah.
Let's also say that some months, half of them can be 31. So in respect to February being 28 days most times, usually let's just call it you're missing out on 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you accept that an average month is 30 days and you're missing out on 3 days in February potentially, you're missing out on 10% of the month. Give or take.
Okay.
Around-
We'll keep going with it.
Yeah, let's keep going with it. Dude.
10's a little high, though.
Derail me with your facts and figures, dude. You're missing 3 days out of 30 days. That's 10%.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That would technically mean that you kind of have to make 10% more per day in February to be able to make all your bills at the end of that month. Kind of.
Kinda.
Again, this math doesn't completely check out, but it kind of, it's the sentiment.
But it's almost there.
It's almost there.
It's right there.
We're closer than if we weren't talking about this at all.
Exactly.
We're closer to the truth than if we just ignored this subject, which is important. That is the one thing that sucks about February. You kind of have to make more money. Like, okay, usually I have 31 days to make enough money to pay for my rent and cable and all this shit. Now I only have 28 days. What happens to those 3 days? Well, that's just part of March. Now,
Wait, can
March
I throw
3rd.
something in real quick?
What?
How much do you pay for your cable?
Too much.
Because mine is way too much.
$200. It's ridiculous.
Really? Dude, I'm paying $140
I
for
was
literally
paying
the basic ass cable channels and then like internet that gets cut off like once a week usually just because they're like doing maintenance or some bullshit.
Dude, I was paying $140. You just moved into your place 2 years ago?
No, so I was paying less. I was paying like $99
When you
for like
first
the
moved in.
first 12 months.
And then they jacked it up to 140.
They jacked it up to like 120 and then 140 for no reason.
Yeah, dude. There was a time when I was paying 140,
But that was the deal.
and then every year for no reason that I can surmise, it just goes up like $20 every year.
It's so dumb.
And I don't know why. It's like you guys are becoming less and less relevant to my life.
Yeah.
I don't need cable.
And I keep trying to look into it. I think this is where you need to call someone. You can't just do it online. I need to figure out how I can just literally get internet because I barely even use TV. I just need internet, but I can't get as fast internet as I have now for less money than I'm paying for like internet and cable. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, they don't want you to not have cable.
Yeah.
They like make it so that they're like, well, you can just get internet, but it's
And
going
you
to
only
be like,
get like DSL speed.
yeah.
Or you can get internet and voice, and it's cheaper than just internet, and it's 3 times as fast.
Yeah.
Like, why?
But you have to. But now you have cable and like landline service. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't need landline
I don't
service,
need
dude.
any of that shit.
I thought that was nice with the Scream movie, which we just partook in the other day. That they still found a way to make the landline a thing.
Yeah.
But like they did it in a very 2022 way where the girl was like texting her phone, being like, "Somebody's calling my fucking landline."
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like a 2014 premise because I don't even know anybody who. My parents don't have a landline anymore.
Really? Mine do.
They do?
Yeah. They still have one. Yeah, we watched a lot of movies this week. I mean, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but over the weekend, we went over to my brother's house because longtime friend of the cast, Scott Albrecht, he was in a movie that was premiering at Slam Dance, which is kind of like
A middle finger to Sundance a little bit.
So Yeah, think about it this way. There's Artscape in the city, right? There's Artscape in Baltimore City, but there's also Ratscape. Ratscape is like the alternative, like underground version of Artscape put on by like, whoever. Mm-hmm. Slam Dance is kind of the same thing, but it kind of, in a sense, kind of started in the same way. Like artists didn't get into Sundance, so they're like, fuck it, we'll make our own thing.
I just realized, Artscape and Ratscape, that's just if you rearrange the letters in art.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and then also Rat is, Baltimore and shit.
That's our mascot.
It's our mascot.
The rats.
It's our mascot, and then if anyone outside of Baltimore says we have rats, we're like, fuck you, dude.
Fucking kidding me, dude?
What?
Trying to enjoy my time at Ratscape. You fucking make fun of us for having rats?
What the fuck? I have a rat bumper sticker that says Baltimore on my car, but you're flaming me about it?
Fuck you, dude. You don't know what you're talking
What
about.
the fuck you're talking about, dude? I only see like 10 rats a day. They're not everywhere.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, people are fucking stupid.
So that's Slam Dance, and it's basically...
and I love Baltimore.
Yeah,
I'm just
of course we love Baltimore.
We
dude.
love Baltimore.
And you know
I live
else?
in Baltimore, but people are so fucking...
They're ludicrous about it.
It's just, you're just being hypocrites.
Yeah, it's a silly mentality. You know who else loves Baltimore? Rats. Rats love Baltimore. And
Rats
you know what?
love that Baltimore trash collection have been lacking recently.
Yeah, lacking.
They've been
That's
lacking.
where rats come in,
That's
dude.
the rats. Baltimore actually hired the rats freelance to clean up the rest of the trash.
Subcontractors, 1099, these rats.
Tax free, baby.
So Scott's movie.
Yeah, Scott's movie
Called,
Actual People, I believe. And I'll just say this. Standout performance by our buddy Scott. Mainly because most of the other performances weren't that great.
Well, they were
I'm not trying to be a hater here.
We're not being haters. We're being movie critics.
We're being
talking
critics.
to Roger and Ebert right now.
Yeah.
Movie critics.
Would you be Roger or Ebert? Or is that the same person?
I think it's the same person, but my entire...
Oh, no, is it
It's
Roker?
Roger Ebert.
Roker and Ebert?
Yeah, but that's...
Well, Roger Ebert is the one guy. It used to be like two guys, I thought.
Yeah, it was, but I always used to just say Roger and Ebert up until last month when I was captioning something, and I was like, wait, let me just make sure this is a thing. And then it wasn't, and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. Because it sounds better, and I think that I only because your name is Eric and it starts with an E, I would say you're Ebert.
Okay.
And I'm Roger.
You're Roger.
So this is Roger and Ebert.
Yeah. So now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing.
We just made it up.
Thank us later for making this yet another thing this early into the podcast.
Trendsetters.
So, honest movie critique. This girl apparently is on the production company of Lena Dunham, as your brother told us, correct?
Yeah, something. Or I think like it was executive produced by like one of the people from Girls or something. But it was kind of in that same like, style of like, this is a look into the life of a, millennial or like zillennial girl. She has a breakdown in her senior year of college because
she fucked a dude.
And then like, led the roommate on or something, and then he kicked her out, so now she has to move back to Philly, and then hooking up with Scott at a party. Oh my God, I've never fucked another half Asian before. Now I feel complete. Let me just stalk him for the rest of the movie.
I was whole Asian for that 3 minutes.
For a time.
For
3
time.
minutes to be exact.
And they cut out the blowjob scene.
Yeah, apparently they cut out the blowjob
Which
scene.
was a main selling point for me.
We wanted to see the blowjob.
I wanted to see my friend get pretend blown live on the air.
I know.
And they took that away from me. And okay, so here's what I'd say about the movie. Good concepts, honest concepts, with the wrong take. There were so many parts of that movie that were like real things that they just took the completely, in my opinion, wrong angle. Most notably in the roommate and her dynamic. Now, there is a portion of the movie where the roommate he's like making something in the kitchen, cereal, some typical zillennial, I'm in college food. And she's sitting at the computer in her underwear. This is a girl and guy roommate. And they, as you gather from the scene, had previously had sex at some point.
Yeah.
You know, they went out, they were drinking, whatever, they fucked. He kindly brings up the idea that, hey, you know, ever since that happened between us, you know, you kind of walk around the apartment in your underwear. It's just kind of confusing to be living here in this space with you, and like it makes me wonder, like, is there something, or like, how am I supposed to respond to this? To which, okay, that to me is a wonderful concern.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. She then takes, to me, the completely wrong angle on that, which is, oh, what? Just because I'm a chick and I walk around in my underwear, that means I want to fuck you? And I'm like, all right, I could maybe see that argument if you hadn't already fucked him. But you live in a house together. And what does he say? What does he say?
I forget. I don't know.
He says, well, you know, it's just weird because what if I come back here with like another girl that I'm trying, don't worry about it. What if I come back here with another girl that I'm trying to see and she sees you walking around in your underwear? What's she going to think?
Completely fair.
Totally fair. Now, our friend Marissa, much more on her side of the things, is like, yeah, just because blah, 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 that means she wants to fuck you. And I was like, all right, let's put it in perspective here. You're dating Dan. You go over Dan's apartment on your first or second date. You guys are hanging out. All of a sudden, Dan's young, hot roommate starts parading around the house in her underwear and t-shirt. And then she goes, so who's that? And then Dan goes, oh, that's just my roommate. And then you go, oh. So, like, nothing's, like, you guys are just, like, roommates. It's whatever. It's like, oh, well, we did fuck, like, a month ago. But, like, it's totally nothing. It's totally nothing. How would you feel as a girl in that situation? Are you
very
cool with
awkward.
that? I go over,
Like,
I go over a girl that I'm seeing's house, and then fucking Chad walks out of the room in just his boxers, ripped than me, hotter than me.
They've already fucked once.
Already fucked the girl I'm trying to fuck.
Yeah.
And paying rent at this place. I'm sitting on half of his couch.
Yeah.
At this moment, as we speak, I'm drinking his water out of probably his cup. And then I go, oh, who's that guy? Oh, that's just Chad. He's my roommate. Yeah, we fucked like a month ago, but like it's whatever. Come on. That's the correct opinion in that situation. And they just took this totally like crazy fucking like, no, you're the problem for thinking this is a problem.
Yeah, you're the problem for thinking this is a problem. Also, thank you for letting me stay here. Like, I'm not even paying rent.
Yeah.
I'm just staying here.
I pay rent by walking around in my underwear.
Yeah.
That was the agreement.
Yeah.
And now I feel like there's a misunderstanding here. So that's take one that pissed me off. Take two was after the fact, she gets drunk again. This completely negates her previous argument, by the way. Because later on...
and then this also happens after he says, like, hey, you got to move out. I'm going to try to find another roommate. This is just kind of weird, like, yada, yada, yada. And then, you know, she's struggling to find another place. She's like, oh, I might have to move back to Philly, da-da-da-da. And
yeah,
then,
she was really not stoked about moving back to Philly, which you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Like, they were talking about, like, moving to another major city as being, like, moving back to fucking Elkton, Maryland.
Bumfuck nowhere.
Like, oh my God, I got to move back to fucking, you know, Smallsville, Kentucky. It's like, you're moving to Philly.
Yeah.
That's like
It's the closest, biggest city.
yeah, you're in New York.
To New York,
And you're moving to Philly.
Yeah.
Where, like, you could literally do the same thing, have the same lifestyle.
You could even still just go up to New York. It's like an hour train ride.
Yeah. So
Some people commute for more than that.
she comes back to the place after, you know, some parts of the movie have developed. And then they're sitting on the couch. She walks into his room. He has a couch in his room, which is cool.
That
So-
is chill.
You already know this guy has some fucking swag. He's already fucked his roommate once, and he'll do it again. So you would think. And then...
I mean, I think he kind of was like, if I fuck you now, I can't kick you out. So I'm going to kick you out. I'm not going to fuck you.
Yeah, but what was unrealistic about it, though...
Is that he didn't fuck her?
He didn't fuck her.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Because he was definitely in love with her.
A girl that you like comes, you fucked her once, you live with her, she walks around the house in underwear all the time, you get in a little argument about it that's inconclusive about what's going on, and then a week later, she comes into your room, sits on your couch, and tries to fuck you again, and your response is, no, no,
I don't want pussy.
no. What are you talking about? That totally took me out of the movie. I was completely prepared at that moment to get back on board with the movie. I was
like, this is going to be an interesting direction because it's like, I still don't think this girl likes him, but she's like, fuck, if I fuck him once, I'll like be able to stay here at least another month and figure shit out. Like, I totally thought that's how that show was going to go.
And that's what she.
And it's like, okay, yeah, that's like interesting character development.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, then it was kind of weird. And then like, she goes down to Philly to stalk Scott, and then like ends up at a party with her sister, who like gets introduced right then. So you're like, okay, there's no like emotional resonance with this just because it's a brand new character to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, she finds out her sister fucks Scott at the party and all this.
And that's
other crazy
also
shit.
the first time you find out that she's half Asian too.
Yeah,
because they went and found the Asianest sister possible, and then the mom was like super Asian as well, which is realistic because I honestly didn't know Scott was half Asian until I met his mom.
Yeah,
I thought he was joking.
Yeah,
I was like, "What are you, fucking Hawaiian? Like, what are you?"
Well, it's just interesting, like the way, like, because Scott and Wolfie are both his parents' kids, but in one sense, Scott looks a little bit more German, and then Wolfie looks a little bit more Korean.
Yep.
It's interesting how that works out.
So the takeaway here is good ideas, bad execution.
And I don't want to, and I might not tag on to that because I don't want to be too much of a hater.
Yeah,
but I will say, the person who really shined through the most for me was our boy Scott.
And that, of course, is what I was building up to when I said that, because I think that it is important, as I said, countless times on that evening when I was almost high, that it's almost better that Scott was in a movie that he could be so blatantly a better actor and stand out like that. It made him like the shining star of this movie, where you're like, you're just waiting for more Scott scenes, not just because you're friends with him.
Yeah,
I'm sure that had something to do with it.
This is the most interesting character in this movie.
Like, this guy is and he not play the role of a guy that fucked you once at a party? That's not like a total piece of shit.
Yeah,
but still like not trying to hang out with you again. That is, look, too often in storytelling, we tend to just immerse ourselves in these archetypes. And so many times in that movie, they seem to take this angle where it was like, they just did like the typical archetypes. Like, they're sitting at a bar, and then you have like the regular white guy who's just mouthing off about fucking media censorship and global warming and stuff. And you're like, okay, so they have completely just committed to like the just generic white guy archetype, you know? And then you have this generic blah, blah, blah. And so you would think that in a movie with an actor that was less willing to explore the depths of his character, that Scott would have been much more likely to just portray the archetypal fuckboy. The archetypal, like, I don't know, man, like, it was just a fucking hookup. Like, I don't know why you're fucking freaking out about it, Like, why the fuck are you even down here? Like, I'm fucking filming skate videos, and you just pop in, and you're trying to, like, say this. Like, that is how you would have thought Scott would have played it. But he did something that I think more men can relate to, which is, oh my God, I did hook up with this girl. I'm not really trying to date this girl, but I'm not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So how can I like smooth this over and be like, hey, like, it was a good time, and like, yeah, I guess we could get together sometime, but just like, I've been really busy lately, so like, why don't you just text me, just let me know next time you're in the city, like maybe we can get together. I don't know, like blah blah blah. And then in that one scene, he brought out of her for the first time what I perceive to be a genuinely authentic emotion, which was her reacting to that because I feel as if that scene hit home for so many people because, wow, that's how life really works.
Yeah.
And who did that? Scott did that.
Yeah.
Scott did that because he's an actual person. For a movie called Actual People, why was Scott the only actual person?
Damn.
A movie called Actual People, the roommate would have fucked that girl again. That's an actual person. It's an actual person.
Yeah. Not a fucking movie character.
No.
The real person made a sister and her sister Eskimo twins.
That is true.
That's an actual person.
Oh, dude, I forgot he did fuck the sister
He fucked
too.
the sister at the
That
party.
is awesome. That is an
Yeah.
actual person.
That's an actual person.
Wow, dude, we totally forgot to bring that up too.
Shout out Scott.
Shouts out Scott Albrecht banging 2 chicks in one movie and still being the coolest guy.
Exactly.
Oh man, what a time, dude. What a
What
time.
a time to be alive, dude. We also caught the new Scream. We had a movie-filled week.
We did a lot of
We
movie-related things.
Caught the new Scream in the movie theaters. That was pretty good. I don't know if I want to talk too much about it because it's pretty fresh. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But if you're on the fence, I'd say go check it out.
Go check it out. I mean,
If you're a fan of the Scream series and you've seen the first one recently, you'll get a lot of the shit.
Scream is first of all, in this day and age where every piece of new content is generally derived from some earlier piece of content that was very successful. Very few reboots or remakes or whatever you want to call them live up to the hype because they're just trying to basically like reheat whatever they did in the previous movies that was successful. And I'm not saying Scream didn't do that, but if you compare it to the Halloween remake, where which just came out this past Halloween, which I believe is probably the reason why Scream didn't come out until now, because they didn't want to have to compete with the release of that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you think about it, like late January is a weird time to put out a horror film, I would think. I mean, I would think that like the best time to put out a horror film is like late summer, fall, around that like spooky season time, because that's really when everybody's like really in the mood to see some spooky shit, you know?
Definitely.
Scream didn't do that, but I think they executed whatever it was they were trying to do so much better than Halloween did. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched the Halloween movie.
So the one we watched was the second in a trilogy, I believe.
The Scream one?
No, the Halloween one.
The Halloween one. Okay.
The Scream was kind of like, I think they were even doing like, commentary on that. They're talking about how the Halloween new trilogy was like, it brings in a brand new cast, but also has support from the legacy cast.
Yes.
So like, I think, that's what they were going for with this one. And yeah, so we talked about this like right after the movie was over. I think a lot of like the meta commentary like that, I liked some of it just because that's kind of what Scream is.
Yes.
Like as just like a basic concept. The first movie was just meta commentary on horror movies.
Yes.
But this one, I don't know if they pushed it a little too hard sometimes. Like for some scenes, it seemed like they're just like, all right, well, this entire scene is just going to be talking to the audience directly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I noticed that too. There were definitely some certain scenes, particularly towards the end, where like the old cast was like the older chicks, Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell, were like, you can't leave because, you ever heard about they always come for the original? Well, we're the originals or something like that. And I was like, okay.
Well, I think that's in
It's a
the
little
vein
trite.
of Scream. I guess my scene I was talking about that really dragged on was when they all met up at Jamie Kennedy's like niece and nephew's house where they had their first big meeting with everyone, and then Dewey came.
Gotcha.
There's just like a lot of shit in that where it was like, all right, a lot of this is just like, explaining where we are now, explaining the concepts, but then like they went way too far off the deep end in that scene where they just kept talking about like literally like they were just like saying meta shit about what already happened in the movie, like playing it off as if like, oh no, this is just like how we think.
Well, I will say in their defense, I will say that one of the biggest, I think, drawbacks or stumbling points that a movie like that, a reboot where you're trying to make a movie which both
you're trying to bring in new fans, but also appease the ones that have been here the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you do kind of draw that fine line where it's like, okay, a person who's seen all the previous Scream movies is immediately going to pick up, if not without any hints, at least with one hint, to be like, oh yeah, that's what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. But a person who isn't familiar with those previous movies is going to need a little bit more context to really truly absorb what it is. And so there is a fine line that you have to walk when you're making a movie like that to kind of incorporate the new fans into the scene so that they are in the same boat as the old fans, because you're not just trying to make a movie that simply appeals to the people that are already like the movie. You're trying to bring in new fans. And I think that's one of the missteps that Halloween took, is there's so many quote unquote Easter eggs in there, but they're Easter eggs strictly for people that already know where to find them. You know what I mean by that is like only a person who has seen all the previous movies and is a fan of the, anthology is going to have picked up that like, oh, this police officer is that guy from Halloween 4 and this person is this person. And it's like, okay, but if you're going to make that a major selling point of this new movie that you're bringing in all these old cast members, then you have to in some way figure out a way to make that also appeal to people that aren't aware of that.
Yeah. And then I think a good thing that the Halloween movie did was like they had like what it seemed like was extra footage from like the OG Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And they kind of spliced that in as like kind of like, whatever the fuck that's called, flashbacks.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of worked. Yeah, there wasn't really much of that in Scream. But also I think the way they executed it as like they made the new girl, Sam, kind of more headstrong. She didn't really even want to get advice from like Nev Campbell or Cox at all, just because she was like, no, fuck it, I'm leaving, I'm going, I'm doing this, I'm doing my own shit. So, and that's kind of like the new audience being brought in, like, fuck it, well, everything is new to us, whatever. And then the old fans can kind of relate to obviously the OG characters.
No, I would say that, I think they had the right idea, and I think they pretty much did about as good as they could have done with that concept, because
without making it a full reboot.
Exactly, because they seemed very committed from the jump to not only not be what they called elevated horror, which is,
well, even in the first scene, it's a rehab. Like most Scream movies, they all have like the first scene of the babysitter, whoever, the girl alone in the house by herself. Killer calls, you want to play a game? Yada. But I think I liked the way how they did this, where it was like Stab already existed in that universe, like all the shit already existed, but like, and I think Alex brought it up, it was kind of interesting, like world building thing where it's like he did the trivia of like who's the babysitter played by, who got killed, and she's like Heather Graham, which is Drew Barrymore's character in the first Scream, or like in the movie in Stab, which is like Scream 2, I think. Yeah, it's just like little things like that where like it doesn't really make sense to the new person, but it still makes sense in the movie. And then like the fans can be like, oh shit.
I think the Scream idea, the Wes Craven original concept of that was so, I'm going to say groundbreaking.
Definitely.
I'm going to say groundbreaking because they kind of acknowledged the campiness of so many of those 80s slashers, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. where they found a way to still make it scary, dude. Those stab scenes were no joke.
No, yeah.
They were stabbing
crazy.
the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
But they still found a way to like kind of a wink at the audience, which is what makes Scream cool. You know, because then I think that eventually led to the phenomenon we had in the early 2000s, which was the parody movie, like Scary Movie, Date Movie, whatever fucking. There was so many of them like that came out. It was like a whole franchise for a while where it was just all about like people making fun of the tropes of all these types of movies. But Scream found a way to do that while still being a horror movie. Yeah. And so I think that whatever they were trying to do, they pretty much executed, I would say, a B, maybe B- level, which is better than most
that's
reboots.
still good.
That's still good.
If that's on Rotten Tomatoes, that's still,
80%.
Getting a tomato meter or whatever.
Yeah, and then you look at other things like
the fuck.
Sex in the City and these other reboots that have come out where like they completely flop and the fans are like, what the fuck is going on? You completely changed the characters. You completely like
you were pissed about the reboot of Sex in the City.
Oh, I was. And I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch it. But like, yeah, so it was a pleasurable, it was a flick. A flick is a movie that you just flick on. It's not something I'm gonna be like, dude, you gotta watch it. But it was like, okay, dude, I recommend that if you want to see a pretty good scary movie, watch Scream.
Watch Scream.
On that note, I'm gonna take a piss.
End of the movie corner.
Can you tell us about some sponsors while I'm gone? I'll be away shortly.
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by Penis. Penis. Get it at your local 7-Eleven. No, I don't know. I was just looking around there. Apparently on Jimmy's notes, it just says penis. So that's what I was talking about. Folks, you've been listening to Live from the Studio for years now. But catch up on all the greatest moments of Live from the Studio with our new CD we're putting out. Yes, a CD. Don't know how you're going to play it. Most computers don't even have CD drives anymore. Cars, I don't even know where to get a CD player, but we're going to be doing... Now that's the best Live from the Studio moments, Volume 1. You're going to get all the hits from the first 10 episodes, including when we recorded over a podcast with another podcast. It's going to include some of the footage from the Lost Dam Bridges episode, along with, excerpts, bloopers, director's cuts. We're going to do a commentary on a couple of the podcasts. It's going to be very hard to understand what's actually happening because it's going to be us talking twice.
It's actually very meta.
It's very meta.
Scream-esque.
Scream-esque.
You sponsored us by Penis, correct?
Yes, because I was looking around the room frantically and I saw penis written on your
I
notepad.
just realized that this podcast is also brought to you by Piss.
Piss.
Because you can't spell penis without piss.
Can't spell piss without
And that's
penis.
fucking true. I just thought of that while I was taking a piss. There's little things like that amaze me that it took me 29
it's just
years.
The little things.
Little things.
It's the little things.
When you're out there. Couple more topics I want to get to. We're getting increasingly more relevant, close to home, coming at you. My brother brought to my attention this morning that he was looking through songs that are rated diamond songs. These are songs that have sold 10 million copies.
Yes.
And he's going through and he's reading this list of diamond songs. And there's only like 64 of them or something like that, like a very small amount. And like so many of them are songs like Move Like Jagger by Maroon 5 and like some song by Extentacion, Sad, that like I barely remember. And like just like strange songs like that, like a couple Cardi B songs.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting, and there's no Michael Jackson songs that I'm aware of. Somebody I Used to Know is one of them, which, okay, good. I agree with that. But we were going through and he was like, oh yeah, so like basically I was like, well, it doesn't seem fair to me that you're rating them on the same scale because it's based off copies sold.
Yeah, but also like streaming now, I think like it takes like 10 streams or some shit to equal one album sold.
But that
And Michael Jackson wasn't on streaming until like last year.
But that's still like, because he did explain the conversion rates, but that still doesn't add up because.
But also, a lot of the labels buy like bots to just constantly stream artist songs.
That
and
too.
then they get the fucking numbers up for free.
Dude, you can't fake an album sale in the 90s.
No.
Like if you.
Well, that was the craziest thing about like, fucking, I think it was like Kanye versus 50 Cent. Like, I think it was like, I forget if it was College Dropout. I think it was College Dropout came out, and then 50 Cent's album came out. And they had like, they're having like a sales war against each other. And like, they sold like almost 1 million copies. And that's people buying physical CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's hard, like when they try to come up with like the conversion rate, like, oh, X amount of plays equals this many album sales. It's like that's hard to quantify because back in the 80s you would have to hear a song and you'd have to like it so much that you got up out of your bed. It's not 2022 where you're sitting laying in bed, you wake up in the morning, you go, oh, what's that song? I like that song. I think I'll listen to that while I'm making breakfast. And you fucking type it into YouTube and you fucking play it on your Bluetooth speaker while you're making your fucking scrambled eggs. That wouldn't have counted.
Yeah.
In 1983. You had to like that song so much you said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make my scrambled eggs. I'm going to eat them. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to drive to Target. I'm going to go into Target, spend $12 on this CD, then take it back home, put it in my CD player, and listen to it. Why? Because I like this one song so much. And I'm going to listen to the other 12 songs because I have them.
Yeah.
And see if I like any of these ones. But I'm really just here because I like this one song. And that took like at least 45 minutes out of my day. That's a fucking copy sold.
Yeah.
You cannot compare that to what he was saying, like something like 1,500 Spotify streams or something, 1,500 plays is a copy sold. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to start factoring in plays to that, then how many times has the song Billie Jean been played on the radio since it came out in 1983? Take every radio station in the world for the past 39 years. 39 years. Every radio station in the world, how many times has that song been played on the radio? And how come those aren't being factored into the... If you're going to factor in plays, and you got to factor in all plays, there is not...
It's just a marketing strategy at the end of the day.
I know, and I don't give a shit, but the bigger point of play here is...
Michael Jackson doesn't care. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. But like, it's more of like a principle thing where it's like, you have to start wondering if your conversion rate is flawed when you're noticing that the vast majority... Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Radioactive, radioactive. That song is apparently a better song, more popular
Than Thriller.
than anything Michael Jackson's ever done. Anything he's ever done.
Damn.
Thrift Shop by Macklemore. More popular than anything Journey's ever done. Lady Gaga's got like 4. Call Me Maybe.
Okay. I like
Okay.
these songs, though.
Uptown Funk. Yeah, great song. Roar by Katy Perry.
I don't even remember that song. Oh, the woman song?
You're gonna hear me roar. Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's Diamond. Let's see. Royals by Lord. Okay. All About That Bass. Cause you know I'm all about that bass. No treble.
Terrible song.
Despacito. Firework by Katy Perry.
Okay.
Oh my God. Lose Yourself by Eminem. See, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that song being Diamond. Love the Way You Lie. Eminem's got so many in here now I think about it. Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke.
Ooh. From the music video alone.
I got a feeling. Whoo. You got Party Rock. You got Counting Stars by One Republic. We'll be counting stars.
Are you just going to read all these off, or what's the point you're getting to?
My point is there a fucking dark horse? I wanted to stop reading after a couple, but I can't stop reading because everything I'm reading is like Are you kidding me, dude? How if you're a stats analyst, and this is we're dealing with the best and brightest in our country, apparently. These guys are making billions of dollars in the music industry. If you're looking at a list of 64 Diamond songs and 51 of them are on the same fucking tier as I'm in Love with the Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, you've got a flawed system.
Shape of You is a good song.
I'm not saying these aren't good. There's plenty of good songs that aren't Diamond songs, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's good songs and there's Diamond. This is the best
but also
song ever.
You gotta think like, is this just for US plays or is this global?
I think it's
I
global.
don't know how it works.
I think it's global.
I mean, until recently, not recently, but like, Spotify came out like in the last 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like for music to get like the running joke back in the day was like, oh shit, like fucking, in Turkey or whatever, they're still listening to fucking the Beatles because they just got that over there last week.
Fucking Turks.
You know what I mean? So like right now, everyone around the world has instant access to all the new music at the same time. So I wonder if it has to do with that. Like, or, maybe some countries banned Michael Jackson. They're not getting plays in China or some shit. I don't know.
Let me propose an ulterior perspective here. You're looking at a list of 64 Diamond songs. Virtually no song made before the year 2000 is in here, beside from a couple absolute fucking magnanimous bangers. Unless your theory is that suddenly every single song made after 2000 is much more influential and much better than any song made before 2000, then your theory is flawed. Not your theory, but the people who are judging this. Here's what I would do. Since we invented fish scale, fat system, we're going to come up with this on the spot. But I think this is a decent idea here.
All right, I got 10 minutes before I got to go.
Oh, really?
Is it going to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think of the most popular song ever.
Happy Birthday.
No. I mean, like just
song.
like fucking like a real song.
Okay. Let's go with Single Ladies. I feel like that's a very popular
All right, how
song.
about this? Let's think of a very popular song from like the old era, like this 80s.
Okay. Let's just do Hello Darkness, my old friend.
All right. Okay.
This is not the one you wanted. What did you want to pick?
I think maybe something like Billie Jean, something that's just
Billie
like a
Jean,
dance banger. Okay.
Yeah.
Billie Jean. Let's say, doesn't even matter what we're doing here. Let's say Billie Jean got 1 billion, or let's say it got 50 million. Let's say it got 50 million copies sold. These are completely fucked up, made up numbers. Now let's take a song that came out last year by Cardi B, and let's say that got 1 billion plays. Cardi B, 1 billion plays. You either have to explain to me how a song that one of Cardi B's top 10 songs, just one of them, not the number one, just a top 10 song, is better than Billie Jean in terms of popularity and cultural influence and sales, or we need to start converting 50 million sales in 1983 equals 1 billion in 2022.
Yeah, there could be a thing of inflation that needs to be applied, but you got to think about it this way too. Like the same way, like billionaires will hire a accountant to like look through all their shit to be like, all right, here there's a loophole here where if we put all your money in a fucking shitty looking NFT, you don't have to pay taxes on it. If you do this, then you can say it's an investment, take it all out of your taxes. If you do this, da 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 da. You got to think the record labels are doing the same shit. Like for a while, they just had to change one of the way like record sales were recorded. Recently, artists would do like bundles on their website. So they'd bundle a merch. They'd be like, all right, buy a t-shirt. It comes with a free download for the album. So that means they get one album sale off that t-shirt. So artists would be able to like put out merch drops. Like that's what Travis Scott was doing for a while, where he'd be like, all right, for Astroworld, there's 2 weeks that I'm going to be doing a new merch drop every day for the album. Each merch drop every item comes with a free version of the album. So if you buy a shirt on day 1 and then day 7, that's 2 extra album sales. Artists would be able to do like pre-orders for, merchandise before the album even comes out. Get like, thousands of t-shirt sales that transfers to album sales. And then the day the album comes out, it's already diamond or like gold or platinum or whatever the fuck. And that's what they do now on streaming too. Like, the single goes a long way for album sales because, like you said, like however many plays of one song counts for an album sale, 1,500. If Drake puts out a single before his album, he can instantly be platinum the moment the full album comes out. Like fucking God's plan. It's like, all right, this has 1 billion streams. That equivalent or that equals the record already being gold before it even comes out or whatever the fuck the numbers are. Yeah, I think it's
so
probably
is this an argument
just like
for what I'm saying or against it?
It's probably more so like whoever owns Michael Jackson's music rights right now doesn't give a fuck about him going platinum or diamond.
I think it's the Beatles own it. Paul McCartney owns it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to do some shit there. I think Paul McCartney does own Michael Jackson's music.
Maybe, I don't
somehow.
know.
I don't fucking know. You said you really do have to go in 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, and we can wrap it up.
Hell yeah.
We'll come into some more pressing issues on Thursday.
Yeah, I was a little late. Sorry,
It's all good.
Setting up the TV for my parents.
It's all good. Shit. Anything coming up this week?
Not really. Just fucking catch me at Eric Glazer on everything, and at LFTS Podcast on everything.
Hell yeah. Let's see, guys. This coming weekend, catch me at, well, of course, every Tuesday at Perennial in Towson from 5 to 8:30. We got every Wednesday night from the new and improved time of 8:30 to 12:30 at the Horse You Came In On with the new and improved lineup of me and Jason Heiser on the drums as the dynamic duo.
Hell yeah.
And then we will be back at the Horse on Friday for sophomore second Fridays at the Horse. The band is there 10 to close. Me, John Burkhart, Joe Niehaus. Also, completely forgot to drop, major plug. We just were featured on Baltimore Hit Parade on WTMD. It was actually really funny because they played the song and then the narrator said, Sophomore is a new project out of Baltimore featuring John Burkhart of Thunder Club and some other musicians.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, let's go. So if you want to see the real Sophomore, you got to come out and see John Burkhart
and some other musicians.
Which may or may not include me, Joe. Who knows? Who knows? That's Friday, February 11th from 10 to close at the Horse You Came In On. Follow at Sophomore MD. We just went certified diamond based off the fucked up new way of rating things. The news, 30,000 plays. That is equivalent to 10 billion in Bitcoin or something.
Hell yeah.
Don't quote me on it. Yeah, like you said, dude, at LFTS Podcast across the board, at Jimmy Selesky, at Eric Glazer. And we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.